Greetings, friends! Man, am I liking the way things are going with our cucumbers and tomato plants. Our cucumbers, I must say, this is the best that I have ever done thus far with growing them. I really like this method of hard pruning, and I'm having them grow up a trellis here in the high tunnel. And each vine, since Lacie's been pruning them, it's just packed. It just continue to have fruit after fruit after fruit. And they're so much easier to spot and find the fruit on the plant, as well as to be able to manage and work with the plant and help it to be healthier. And our tomatoes, well, this is the earliest that we have started to get ripe tomatoes ever here on our homestead, especially not without having to have a heated greenhouse, that we can still do it in our high tunnels here, even though they're not heated, but we are able to grow things sooner. And now we are starting to have our tomatoes come on, and it looks great. We have our cherry and grape tomatoes that are turning red. Oh, I forgot to mention our micro tom tomatoes. Even though the plants themselves don't look quite pretty, they are turning red and ready to start harvesting right now too, in the containers that we're growing them in. And our polyface tomatoes, they are starting to turn red as well, and super excited about that. And in addition to the tomatoes and cucumbers, we're also doing really well on harvesting strawberries. And strawberries are just my favorite. Well, at this time of year, despite all the things we're starting to harvest more and more of, this is also a time of high weed pressure, so we got a lot of different weeding to do around here. So that's one of the things I'm gonna be working on today, is weeding. Fun. Thankfully in here there's not much weeding to do at all, especially the way that we're only watering where the plants are growing and the walkways aren't getting watered. So just a little bit to do around the plants, but that's pretty easy, not really hard to do. But we do have areas like this that, oh man, they're starting to take over. So right here around our rosemary plant, we also have some squash somewhere in there. I don't know about you guys, but squash has not been doing really well for us this year. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to know, how is squash going for you guys this year? Our plants are behind and they haven't been doing well, so it's just one of the things that isn't doing well, despite some of the things that are doing well. And then down here we have kind of a little bit of a chaos situation going on here. We have radishes that are well past due and need to be harvested, and some of them have flowered, as you can probably see behind Micah there. And then some weeds we need to clean out. So let me start working on this bed. It's one of those things. We had the radishes that they were ready to be picked, and then a whole bunch of rain came, and then they shot up and then flowered. That's the way it goes sometimes. But root crops is one of the things that we are really trying to focus on a little bit more this year, opposed to greens. We've grown a lot of greens in the past for our market garden. But one of the things I was looking at is greens aren't really a good crop for long-term storage and preserving. It's just like a really short time of eating it, consuming it, and then moving on. And it's not really nutrient dense either. So just something we're thinking about here. And everything that we're pulling out of here that we're not gonna be eating is gonna be going to feeding the goats. This year, I've really been thinking more and more on the concept that whenever we're harvesting or weeding areas, that we're not doing that just for our personal benefit from the things that we're able to harvest, but also for our animals as well, that the things that we produce in the garden go to us and to them. And it's really neat to see them enjoying, even though we weren't able to get the harvest that I would like from these radishes, they are. And the bees were too, from the flowers that were on them. But they are really enjoying these radish tops. All right, well, it's time to head back down to the garden, continuing on with weeding. But the things that are lower to the ground that are dirtier, we're gonna give those to the chickens and ducks because they're able to eat them better. All right, so we got one bed done, but for this next bed, the grass has gotten so tall, we're actually gonna have to go ahead and take the weed eater through here, cut it down, give the top part to the goats, and then come back through with a stirrup hoe and get what's down lower. We're serving them up a little buffet today. We're getting all kind of little treats in there. There's a bunch of different varieties of grass and various plants, vegetation inside that bed that we just pulled out on top of the radishes that we just gave them. So looks like they're enjoying it a lot. I feel more like a landscaper than I do a farmer today. Got grass all over me, and for the past few hours we've just been mowing and weeding and mowing and weeding. Josiah was helping me out using the battery powered weed eater that we have, and I was using the gas powered one. With the battery powered one, it's just so much easier, it's lighter, easier to operate, and you just press the button and it goes. You don't have to worry about cranking it up and having trouble with it, and so it's one of the reasons I had him on that. But we were tackling, we were knocking things out, getting the weeds down and trying to get it looking better around here. And at this time of year, it's almost every 5 to 6 days, at least every week, we're having to do some kind of just maintenance around here. That's just the time of year it is, and things are just growing fast, especially the unwanted. And I think back to a farmer who mentioned that he was a grass farmer. I really didn't understand what he meant at the time until I started thinking about it, and he was like, even though he raised animals, that he was a grass farmer. That the animals that he was raising, the animals that you typically raise, they need the vegetation. So the more I'm hands-on with animals that require the green stuff to eat, the more I'm thinking about it. And with the goats especially now, they're really consuming more vegetation, a lot more than the chickens. So just making me think, well, maybe Maybe I'm a landscaper, farmer, grass farmer, homesteader, whatever. And over the years, we've been adding various tools, and when I started here on the homestead, we basically just had a shovel and a mattock, and that was how I made a lot of our beds and prepped a lot of the soil, and just tried to make progress along the way as we've had the budget to do so. And there's still some tools on my wish list, like the BCS walk behind tractor with a power harrow. I'd love to have that, and a greens harvester. That's one of the things I would like to have too. But we've been blessed to be able to gradually add tools that make managing and working the land a lot easier. And a number of tools that I really find helpful is one, the Broadfork. And regretfully, I broke my Broadfork, one of the main ones that I use right here, Treadlite Broadfork. And as you can see, it cracked right here. And then my Ford Farm Tech Broadfork, the fork's bent on it. It's like, oh, so I didn't have a Broadfork operational for me to use, and this is one of the tools that really gets used a lot around here. On top of a stirrup hoe, we use those constantly. We actually have a number of those. Bow rakes. Let's see here. We also use the Kelvin cultivator, flame weeder, and that one really comes in handy with just keeping the weed pressure down in our beds. I know it didn't look like it today. I actually hadn't used it in a while, but it really does reduces the seeds. You can just torch out, scorch out young plants, unwanted plants that grow, and you can also scorch out any weed seeds in the process that are on the surface. So we try to use that on a regular basis. We also really enjoy using our John Deere lawn tractor, which we used a lot of today. That, and combined with the Gorilla Cart, which has multi-functions. You could put it on as a trailer on the back of the lawn tractor, or we can just pull it around like a wagon. And we're transporting all the grass clippings and various things today. Definitely came in handy today, but actually we use that thing like every day. From moving feed around to water buckets around and mowing and everything. Not that I mow every day, but just moving stuff around, it really comes in handy. And a lawn tractor, definitely for a homestead, is one of those things that I'm so glad that we were blessed and able to do that. I think about 3 years ago we were able to add one on, and that was huge. And in addition to those, since I don't have the BCS, I do really use our mini cultivator a lot. And over the past couple years, I've actually have had 3 of them now. One's pretty much gone kaput. Another one's just kind of it's still good, operational, and one's like our newest one with the Honda engine, and it works really great. But this is just some of the tools that I use around here. And speaking of tools, and I mentioned Broadfork earlier, I'm so happy because I just got my new Broadfork in, and I needed that so bad. And let's go check it out because it's time to put it together. All right, we got a new fork here, as well as our handles, new handles, steel ones, and then we also have some wooden ones to replace on our old Broadfork because it cracked, and I need them back. So that way we'll have multiple Broadforks to use here. So there is a slight difference in the design, and I really like the Treadlite Broadfork. I like the Ford Farm Tech Broadfork as well, but one of the things that I like about the Treadlite Broadfork is the dual handles, which really, I like that motion for me. And I also like the thick blades on here, which really work our soil really well, especially with the heavy clay that we have here. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert these steel poles right into here, and then we're gonna take the wooden handles and replace them with our old handles. Alrighty. Go ahead and take that off. Helper here. Can you pull that this way? Bang. There we go. Our new 6-tine Treadlite Broadfork steel handle. There we go. Look forward to putting this baby to work. Okay, next we're gonna put the handles on our old one, just so we'll be ready to go when it's time to put these babies to work. Besides, so these handles look like they've been diseased.
It does look like it has a disease.
It does, doesn't it?
Yep.
Alrighty. They just been put to work and weathered. So definitely time to replace them. And there's the crack, look at that. That's why we can't use it anymore. So if I use it one more time, it would just snap right off. Old and with the new.
May I put those in?
Sure can. Okay, second one. There we go. Put this one in there. Need to put the washer on. Tightened up, you gotta move it on to the tight setting, tighten setting, okay, and then I'll hold the other side, and go. All right, get it really tight, one more tight squeeze, see if you can use some muscle on these. Got a vein popping out of your head yet? Got a vein coming through there? Do I get veins popping out of my head when I have to struggle a little bit? No? What about my arms?
Maybe.
You know what I call that?
What?
Thunderstorm coming through. Just the lightning. Just listen for the thunder.
I'm guessing your mouth is the thunder.
Hey!
What?
Wrench. Oh yeah, I gotta put on the correct one. Just pay attention, duty. There you go. You got vein coming out of your cheek. There you go. I think that's tight enough. Let's go ahead and put that second handle on. Alright. Let's see if you can loosen this up. You change it on to the correct setting.
Yep.
Alright. Come on. There you go. There you go. It's crazy to believe that I've had this Broadfork for like 4 years, something like that. That's pretty crazy. At least 3, but I think 4 years now, and it's served us very, very well. Got it off? Come here, Micah. Oh, there we go. Go ahead and tap it on the end. Oh, right here. So I had another helper join me in helping me put this together. You gonna have veins coming out of your forehead and mouth too?
He does have one.
Okay, I think that's tight enough, guys. Working together, guys. Great job, guys. I'm going to go ahead and see if it's just tight enough. I'm just going to do a tightness check, quality check. There we go, just a little bit tighter. There we go, but you guys did fantastic.
Thanks.
Got a little bit of adult muscle in there. Let's see those double biceps. Come on, let's see them. See them. Your double biceps. See your muscles. Come on. Oh, look at there. Check out those muscles right there. Look at those. Do it again. Yeah. Yep. Don't let your head pop off. Don't squeeze out. Let's see your muscles. You gotta roll those sleeves up. Let me see the muscles. Oh, there. These some strong guys right there. All right, here's one. That's bam. Bam. Yeah. All right. So now that you've showed me your muscles and you showed everybody else too, we're gonna see those muscles put to work using a Broadfork one day, right? It'd be really neat if they had kid-sized Broadforks. So, but I'm gonna be using these coming up pretty soon. What do you think about having a kid-sized Broadfork? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be super I want a blue American flag Broadfork to me.
That'd be pretty cool. Well, we got our landscaping in, and now that we have our Broadforks together, we can go back to being farmers. So make sure you stay tuned for us using our new Treadlite Broadfork and my new handles on my old one. And if you would like any of the tools, whoops, that I mentioned in this video, you can check out the show notes below, including this Broadfork. See you next time.